They come around turns 3 and 4. Pace car accelerates and pulls down pit road. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has selected the inside track. Austin Dillon on the high side. They get on the throttle, and this race is green. Stenhouse spun the tires, and it cost him as he is in trouble of losing second place to Kevin Harvick. Austin Dillon, your man out front in the 3. And here comes Harvick looking inside of the 6.
Yeah, starts and restarts have been something that Ricky Stenhouse has kind of dealt with over the last year and a half, and that time he didn't get that good start. Austin Dillon was ready to go. He did beat Ricky Stenhouse to the start-finish line, but I didn't really see him jump the start. I think that it was just the fact that the 6 car didn't get going.
Let's go back and show you this.
Yeah, it looked like Stenhouse got the jump. Did not get going, whether he spun his tires or didn't get shifted right or something there. Not a good, clean start for Stenhouse.
He almost lost second spot, but he's managed to hold on to it for now. But look at Austin Dillon as he has moved out to about a 4-car length lead.
Hey, Rusty Wallace said that he really liked this guy, what he saw in practice today and everything with Austin Dillon. And if Rusty Wallace likes him in this place, can't argue against that. That man knows how to get it done here.
On board with Sadler, he's moved into the 11th spot, and he's got the 31 of Justin Allgaier in his sights. Let's go back to the 6 radio at the start.
I didn't spin my tires. I don't know how he beat us to the line.
You're right. Hit your mark, Jess. Let's run him right up there. We'll be good.
Well, he said he didn't spin the tires.
Well, that's why I couldn't quite see him spinning the tires, but he did get the jump. He went before Austin Dillon, but it's like his car just didn't go as good.
And there goes Elliott Sadler getting around Justin Allgaier. So he picks up the spot, moves Sadler into 10th.
Yeah, Elliott felt really good about his race car. He said the one thing that might concern him a little bit, it didn't really have the top speed that he was looking for, but the car ran good as he ran some laps on tires earlier in the day.
And that practice was in the sun. I was watching Elliott, and his times were good as they ran and put laps on the tires. But you never know how that's going to translate when the track cools off like it is now, and it gets a lot cooler. It looks like he's going the right way now.
Sadler underneath the 11 of Brian Scott. Talking to Brian today, he said that it's better than 50-50, that he probably will not be back with Joe Gibbs Racing next year. Does not know where he's going. Has talked to several teams, but one of them not Richard Childress Racing. Just behind there, you saw the 43 of Michael Annett take a peek underneath the 51 of Ty Dillon.
I talked a little bit with Ty Dillon this morning about his race car and how practice was going. He's felt very comfortable. He said his race car was really good. Him getting some time on this racetrack was the most important thing.
Well, I talked to some of the crew guys during practice. They said when they started out, it wasn't just like they needed it. As a matter of fact, that the 2 Dillon guys, they drive a little bit different. Their style is, and so they didn't have what they needed for Ty in the very beginning of practice, but they got it there pretty quickly. And then, like you said, they had a good car at the end of it.
Well, remember when Ty finished 3rd back at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and Austin told us they went go-kart racing the night before, and Austin won? Guess what? They went go-kart racing last night. Ty won 3 out of 4.
So what does that mean?
Well, it just means that the sibling rivalry at the go-kart track is still alive and well. Our race at Richmond is presented by K&M, and there's your top 5.
Just what happens on these short tracks as you start running up on the lap traffic. You're hoping that they're going to give you the break that you want to, and Austin thought that he was being given the inside to go around there, and that door was shut. Had to get out of the throttle. Ricky Stenhouse to the lead.
That'll be 3 up top.
That was Derek White in the 24 who had the moving chicane for the 3 car. You can see Kevin Harvick now in 3rd spot. A little bit farther back, we've got Sam Hornish Jr. and Denny Hamlin. That is your top 5. And in 6th place, Johanna Long in the 70. She goes through your screen right there. She is doing well tonight. Hacksaw the wheel there. Speaking of Johanna, we're checking a tweet that was sent in by Jeff Burton. Here it is. deserves a shot in a top 10 car. No disrespect to her current team. They just don't have the funding that the big teams have. Vince, you've got more?
Well, they run RCR chassis. They've got ECR engines, but they have such a small team. As I mentioned pre-race, 7 employees on this team. They fly 4 people in to pit the car, and that's where they struggle at times during the season. Right now, she just needs help off the corner, but she's trying to ride right there so she doesn't burn off that right rear tire. She knows how valuable that's going to be later in the run, Marty.
Like, if you watch where she's running right behind Denny Hamlin. And she's lost no more than a quarter of a second to him. I think that's a pretty good gauge of how she's doing.
Yeah, actually, the last couple of laps, she's closed in on Denny Hamlin, so she's running faster. So she's not needing much help. But just talking about that funding and stuff, yeah, they might have the chassis and the engines, but there's so much more to this now with all the engineering that goes into it. She does a really, really good job. I mean, this young lady won the Snowball Derby. If you go down and beat the best short track racers that there are at that racetrack, it shows how much talent you have.
The 20-year-old from Pensacola, Florida, right now, dazzling all of us, running in 6th position. Let's check in on the 60, because Travis Pastrana has his hands full with Kurt Busch, as these guys are duking it out for 9th.
Kurt Busch has made up 7 spots since the start of the race, and now he's looking to gain another one real quick on Travis Pastrana. I think Kurt's got a really good car, just did not get a good qualifying run.
Yeah, he'll be there before the end of this is over, trying to get that second victory at Richmond this year. But Travis doing the right thing there. Hey, there's somebody that you can learn from. As you're learning, get in behind a champion like Kurt Busch and see what you can do. But Travis doing a very, very nice job staying up in the top 10 here tonight. His first time in this Ford for Roush Fenway.
And, of course, he was fastest in the one and only practice they had earlier today, so that sort of raised the expectation bars. How about it? What's the latest you're hearing, Shannon?
Yeah, Marty, and he qualified 5th for this race. He told me after practice that the goal was just to get into this 60 car and see where he stacks up in a very competitive race car. The team actually didn't find out that Travis would be in this car until 2 weeks ago. He stopped by the shop on Tuesday. He is actually driving one of Carl Edwards' seats inside that race car. He practiced with the pit crew, but it just all came together. Travis brought some of his money to the table, and he did tell me that there is potential for more races with Roush Fenway Racing. They just haven't had any conversations at this point. Dave Burns.
Shannon, that 54 car, as we see now, Johanna Long getting by Denny Hamlin, driving her way to the front. I believe that puts her in 5th. The 54 of Kurt Busch moving forward did not get the good qualifying run, but Mike Beam told me that was okay because the car was tight. And this track loosens up. How did they win in April? He said, we beat everybody by having good drive off the corner. You can't do that if you're too loose. And he believed that the car would come around for Kurt. He's going forward.
As you can see, he's moved from 17th up to the 9th position. And you pointed out very nicely, Dave, that Johanna Long did get around Denny Hamlin, put her in to the top 5. Let's go back a little deeper in the pack, show you exactly what happened. Let's look at the 22 of Ryan Blaney. Cole Witt in front of him. Whoa, little contact.
Well, we said that may happen tonight. You can't mess around with them. Catch them. You either got to pass them quickly, as Kevin Harvick is doing with Austin Dillon, or sometimes you have to move him like Ryan Blaney did.
Kevin Harvick up to 2nd. Move Austin Dillon back to 3rd. Sam Hornish Jr. is still in 4th, but he is a full 2nd behind. There's your top 5 here at our race at Richmond, presented by K&M. We've knocked down 30 of the 250 laps. And tell you that over in turn number 2, the 17 of Tanner Berryhill has torn up the right side of his race car.
I thought I heard a tire blow on the front straightaway. Looked up, and wasn't looking at the right place.
That sucks. I have both my blowers on.
It's like maybe a brake heat issue that overheated the bead on the right front.
He was 31st, 1 lap down. Let's show you exactly what happened.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Hard lick. That is one of the big problems at this track, is overheating. Those brakes are so good now that they make so much heat. But the weak link in the chain is that bead on the tire.
Yeah, and you might think as a driver that you're not on the brake that hard, but it's so easy to stay on it. These corners, you arc down into the corner, you'll stay on it longer than maybe you think that you are. Always like to have a spotter letting me know if he saw any kind of sign that I was overusing the brake, especially early on in the race.
Paulie Haraka in the 08 will get the free pass. That'll give us 28 cars on the lead lap. And now, as you can see, a lot of the teams loading up for the first round of pit stops because we've knocked down 38 of the 250 laps.
Ricky Stenhouse is running fast, but he's having to pick it up to go catch the pace car here.
Pit road is not open yet, so we'll have to wait for at least one more lap. Let's quickly check in with Vince Welch.
Guys, Denny Hamlin really struggling with his race car. They're going to fix it on this pit stop. He says he's an 8 on a 10 scale loose. 8 loose on a 1 to 10 scale. And he also didn't appreciate when Joanna Long went by him earlier in the race.
Let me know, I'll get the out of her way. It's going to drive me to nationwide retirement.
Tell you what, he might not have liked it, but the 70 of Joanna Long's been pretty stout here in the early going.
Yes, she has. She has moved up to the 5th position right now. Pits are now open, so we'll see if everybody comes as we probably expect. And yes, here we go.
This will be a test for Johanna Long's pit crew to see if they can keep her up there.
That'll be the 12 car making it to the pit road first. Doc.
Very free in, getting freer in the middle of the corner, 1 and 2. Wedge, left rear, air pressure change, and each 7 gallons of Sunoco fuel, 4 tires. Vince.
Austin Dillon, bottom left of your screen. It won't turn the center, and it's too loose off. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment going up on the track bar. 4 tires and Sunoco fuel. Shannon?
Kevin Harvick, upper right-hand corner of your screen. He's a little bit loose. They're going to take a rubber out of the right rear. They're also going to make a wedge adjustment. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. right below him says he needs right rear stability. They're going to make a wedge adjustment, guys.
That number 1 pit stall pays dividends for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Austin Dillon picked up a spot as Kevin Harvick drops one. Ryan Blaney took 2 tires. We'll talk about that strategy when we come back. It gives him track position, but will he have enough traction to hold on to it? LSU. And just as we finish that, we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing with Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the race leader. Let's update you. Johanna Long's pit crew. They got him back out in 14th position. And on the restart, boy, Kevin Harvick right on the bumper.
I'm telling you, Ricky Stenhouse problem is going from 2nd to 3rd gear. He's not spinning the tires. It's when he's going from 2nd to 3rd gear. He had a problem right there. Managed to come out in the lead this time.
Ryan Blaney in that 22. Remember, he only took 2 tires. Crew chief, would you have made that call?
No, I wouldn't have.
So far, it looks pretty good, but he was doing a great job before that caution came out of moving through the field. Has a fast race car.
Came in 17th and goes back out to the 6th position and already moving up. He is now running 3rd. There's the 3 of Austin Dillon with Sam Hornish Jr. and Elliott Sadler. Battle for the race lead. You've got Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on the high side in the 6th, trying to hold on to it. That's lap traffic in front of him. Harvick right there on the quarter panel.
Harvick's just gnawing on that rear bumper of this 6th car of Ricky Stenhouse.
That was Timmy Hill in the 41. He goes a lap down. Means we have 29 cars on the lead lap. On board with Harvick.
Kevin Harvick does such a good job on this racetrack of keeping that left front tire right down on the yellow line, hitting through the corners. Good drive up off the corner. He can drive his car straight. Ricky Stenhouse doing a good job staying in front right now.
Denny Hamlin, as he had a terrible pit stop, got blocked in on the exit, put him well back into this field, and he's working his way back up. You see him getting around Danica Patrick and right on the 43 of Michael Annett.
Yeah, Hamlin gone all the way back to the 21st spot after getting blocked in. And it will be an interesting test to see how 2 tires work here early in this race. We thought that the track had lost enough grip that it might not be a good move here tonight.
So far, it's working way better than I thought it would. I think he'd stay there anytime at all.
He's still hanging on to that third position, Ryan Blaney is. Remember, Blaney finished 7th back when we were here in the spring at Richmond. And these two have sort of pulled away from Blaney and Austin Dillon and Sam Hornish and Elliott Sadler. Let's go back and show you the pit stop of the 18 of Denny Hamlin. Show you exactly what happened.
Denny obviously was first in his box before Mike Wallace in the 01 came in, but Denny didn't get stopped soon enough, or felt like that Mike maybe stopped a little bit short.
To the wall there.
That just costs you positions and time if you have to ever hit reverse on pit road.
And he keeps moving forward. Hamlin right now in the 13th position. Restarted in 21st.
Yeah, going 3 wide here down into turn 1, but if I'm going to be 3 wide down into turn 1, I want to be that cat on the inside for sure.
He's now side by side and clearing the 30 of James Buescher. How about a battle for third place? We're going to get our answer here pretty soon on 2 tires.
Well, I'm still surprised how good it's working so far for Blaney. He was kind of mired up in traffic early in the race. You couldn't really tell what kind of car he had because he was not up there with some clean air. Now he does have that, although he doesn't have the 2 left side tires.
Okay,
still
so
working good.
So it took 13 laps for this to turn into a battle for position. So late in the race, you starting to think, crew chief?
Oh, yeah, a lot of crew chiefs can watch how that worked. Had about 37, 38 laps on those tires, and they made that stop.
On board right now with Elliott Sadler in 6th. And you want to talk about the points chase getting tighter. Elliott needs to start moving forward because Ricky Stenhouse Jr. running in 1st.
Yeah, he is, but I look at our top 4 in the points, and they're all in the top 6 right here, so not much change at all, other than Ricky Stenhouse making a big move by leading, and you see Sadler take the spot away from Sam Hornish.
And what we talked about in the open, it's bad news for Hornish and Austin Dillon because they need that 2 and that 6 car to have some issues for them to gain a lot of ground. And that just hasn't been happening.
I like the way Elliott Sadler's car looks. It looks like it just gets better and better as the run goes on.
You know, we also, as we see the rest of the field come through pretty much in single file right now. And as we say that, all of a sudden, here goes Elliott underneath the 22 and Sam Hornish following.
Yeah, Ryan Blaney right there did a great job of saving that car off turn 2. You can see he's extremely loose on the exit of the corner. This might be what you were talking about, Andy.
Well, one of the problems is it wasn't so much speed. He had pretty good speed. But what happens is it puts you on defense. You're just that little bit off, and you've got people gnawing on that rear bumper, and it puts you in a bad position a lot of times. He's got a gap now. He can run behind Kurt Busch for a little while.
So Kurt gets surrounding, and that moves Blaney back to the 7th position. And everybody is chasing Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He's got a 0.3 of a second lead over Kevin Harvick here at Richmond.
Got a little bit loose getting down in on the inside of Ricky Stenhouse down in turns 1 and 2. Did a great job of not creating an accident there.
That's what I love about Stenhouse, though. He's not going to give it to you. He's going to race you hard for every spot. And it doesn't matter what part of the race it is. He's just a 100% guy all the time.
Well, and if you were with us last weekend at Atlanta, this was exactly the way the race ended with these two. And you had an interesting observation.
Yeah, it looked like Harvick was just going to ride behind Stenhouse, let him lead the most laps tonight, and then wait to the end of the race and break his heart like Stenhouse did to him last week in Atlanta.
Ricky passed on the final lap for the win after Harvick led 151 laps. And right now, Ricky has led the most, 53. Austin Dillon, our other race leader, has led 14. Here goes Harvick one more time.
Well, Stenhouse has to remind you a lot of when Carl Edwards came in to the Nationwide Series, just driving the car. Not that Carl doesn't drive hard now, but just, young, trying to get that experience, but just hard on it every single lap. And I mean that in a very positive way because Carl's obviously had a great career so far, but I think Ricky's going to be another one of those Carl Edwards type.
That's Eric Darnell in the 40 as he is a lap traffic. He is the last car on the lead lap in 28th. Now he will go a lap down, and there's more lap traffic up ahead. Meanwhile, a little farther back, boy, Denny Hamlin's on a mission. That's a battle for 8th. with Ryan Blaney.
He's not an 8 loose on that meter anymore up to 10. He's got this thing pretty much what he likes now. Seen be able to make a lot of passes coming from that 21st spot after the restart up inside the top 10. That's the 8th position now.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about when we started the show, is that he got a few opportunities to tune on the car. They did a really good job, and him giving that information of being that loose, they did a good job of making the right adjustment and making it enough.
Kevin Harvick. Yeah, he's got him pinned with the 41 of Timmy Hill, and changing the race lead. Kevin Harvick's going to take over the top spot.
Yeah, I was going to say, the one thing that makes Stenhouse so difficult is because Stenhouse drives into the corner so far, it makes it hard to get up beside him and take that spot away.
Well, here at the Virginia 529 College Savings 250 at Richmond International Raceway, we want to remind you that you need to check out Race Buddy. It's enhanced coverage for the select nationwide series races with more cameras than ever. All you have to do is log on to NASCARNationwideSeries.com/RaceBuddy. And now that he has gotten past Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Harvick opening up a bit of room. Behind these two, we check in on the 20. There's Darrell Wallace. And there's Johanna Long. She is running in 17th. 18th is Darrell Wallace. 19th is Cole Witt.
Johanna Long spent about 6 or 7 laps trying to get by that 88 of Cole Witt, and she leaned on him a couple of times with the front bumper, but really made a nice clean pass.
And she lost a lot of spots on pit road, and then on in the traffic after the restart lost a few more. So now she's trying to get them back.
So with Joanna now shown in the 16th position, dropping a little farther back, you see that Danica Patrick, she is running in the 21st position. Started, as you can see, 24th. Ryan Truex and Joe Nemechek side by side right in front of her. She's got nowhere to go. That is all battle for position on the racetrack. Let's check in on the battle for 10th position. Brian Scott has it. Travis Pastrana wants it.
Yeah, it's another learning process for Travis Pastrana. He's got a fast race car. Now, inside, they're trying to get inside the top 10. How do you set these drivers up and make passes here? You know, he's shown that he's got the speed here tonight. Does he know enough now to learn how to pass on these short tracks?
Scott opening up a little bit of room right now. Pastrana, his best career finish of 11th came at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Side-by-side action, the 43 of Michael Annett, and they're zooming in on the rotors because, yeah, they're lighting them up.
Yeah, I always like on pit road here especially, you can see the cars going in turn 1. You can see how your rotors are glowing versus other cars. And we saw a tire problem. That's the only caution we've seen so far. Somebody had a brake heat tire problem.
Let's check in with Dave Burns on that 43.
During the first run, Marty, the car was very, very loose in and off the corner. So they put the track bar down and tried to help him that way with a little air pressure adjustment as well. But he has not moved forward. He's in the same spot he was when he restarted.
On the right side of your screen, Travis Pastrana has caught up and is trying to pass Brian Scott, and he is going to clear him.
That's a quality pass.
You're exactly right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Can't force it on entry. It's all on exit.
That's what we were looking for. He's doing a nice job. He's not overdriving the corner, setting himself up. Just what his spotter there said. You know, don't overcharge the corner. If you get back in the throttle, that's where you make passes and on the exit. You get up beside, take the inside lane. Did a nice job.
Mike Bliss in the 44 also gets around Brian Scott. And here comes Ty Dillon in the 51. On board with Ty.
Fresh off for that truck win last weekend down in Atlanta. Boy, what a great job he did. He's doing a nice job here tonight too, Dave.
He is, DJ, and his crew is very impressed by the way he picks things up. He bounds something on that racetrack to win that truck race at Atlanta as he finds a way beneath the 11 car right now. Talking with the crew earlier, they said that one time during practice today, early, he went to Kevin Harvick and he said, Kevin, I need some pointers on getting around here. After he found out what Kevin said was the way around, he picked up 0.4 of a second on his practice lap. So he asked questions, he knows how to apply it, and he's going forward right now.
I'd have sent him back down there one more time if he picked up 0.4.
Yes, sir. At least maybe get a couple more.
All right, second place is tightening up. As you can see, Austin Dillon trying to track down Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Let's listen in on the 6.
5 loose on entry, 5 loose on exit, 3 tight in the center. Then 4, you got to take care of it for me. Mike, I'm going to take care of it. Don't tell me that. I got it.
Oh, what do you make of that?
He needs to calm down, is what I think. I mean, his crew chief's just trying to help him, you know. Sometimes you get caught up and you just need that little bit. It's not that he's telling him how to drive.
See Ricky working the wheel on the left. There is your top 5 as we're working lap 84 here at our race at Richmond, presented by Can-Am.
Now playing on Direct.
Winner here in the Nationwide Series in Richmond, but he hasn't won in 30 races since this event back in 2010. That's the lead that he has now over a new second place, the 3 of Austin Dillon. A good hard-nosed pass to get around Ricky Stenhouse Jr. for second.
Yeah, we haven't really seen the second groove come in as far as one that you can hang there for very long as of yet. Not a lot of rubber laid down, but Austin Dillon making the kind of textbook pass right there. Sliding it up in front of.
And now you see that here's points leader Elliott Sadler closing in on the 6 of Stenhouse.
See Stenhouse struggling for rear grip off the corner, making these passes easy for the guys around him.
Yeah, well, I talked to Ricky Stenhouse earlier today. He felt very good about his car because he said the thing he worked on was to drive off. That's what they felt like they didn't have here the first race. He felt like he had it. Looked like he had it in the first run, but I don't know if it's this set of tires or just an adjustment they might have made. Doesn't have quite that drive off that he had in that first run.
And you can see that he has now dropped back to the 4th position. Check in on the 54 of Kurt Busch, who is running in the 5th spot. Dave, what are you hearing?
He's gained 3 positions, Marty, since the restart, in spite of a problem he's been having. Now, when you listen to the radio, there will be 2 voices on there. Listen.
What is wrong with the brakes on this thing? The brakes vibrate. Simple, bud. It did it for me, too. We'll get to work on it.
That second voice was the guy on the right. Brother Kyle is down in turn number 1, watching Kurt's progress. Remember, it's been good, but the brakes have been a problem. And interestingly, he just talked about sometimes when he lands on the brakes into the corner, it wants to turn right on him. So Kyle and Kurt very conscious of that issue with their race car.
Any ideas?
Well, I mean, it's just not much you can do about it during the race. So this is an issue that they've obviously been dealing with their brake systems, and it's a combination of the pad materials and rotors and calipers, and they just got to work it out.
Yeah, and there's 2 racetracks that you hear that complaint more, right here at Richmond and at Loudon, New Hampshire. For some reason, I mean, the brakes have time to cool off down the longer straightaways. As you can see, Harvick putting Danica Patrick a lap down.
Danica in 21st position. Let's get an update on our race leader, Shannon Spade.
Well, guys, I told you how aggressive they got on that last pit stop. They took a rubber out of the right rear. Immediately after, as soon as we went green, Kevin Harvick came over the radio and said it's way too loose still, despite the fact that he's out front. And Kevin Harvick has had 10 races this season in the Nationwide Series. He's led the most lap in 5, but still hasn't gotten victory lane.
He's trying to put the 87 of Joe Nemechek a lap down and the 88 of Cole Witt. And they're giving him all he wants.
It's always tough on these short tracks. These drivers are trying their very best to stay on the lead lap or be that car that's the first car just a lap down in case the caution does fly. So it makes it tough for the leader.
Yeah, they're racing each other for that spot, Nemechek and Cole Witt, while also trying to stay on the lead lap.
Well, there's no urgency really for Kevin Harvick. He has a 2-second lead that now has dwindled to 1.6, so it took about 0.4 of a second off of his lead to get around those two.
Yeah, he'll get that back whenever the second place car of Austin Dillon gets to those cars, because he has to go around them too.
So now Ryan Truex is the last car on the lead lap. He is in 18th position, and everybody is chasing the 33 of Kevin Harvick. There's our top 5. Our race here at Richmond presented by Can-Am.
Veteran move on Cole Witt in the 88.
I tell you what, he's been driving hard, and right now he's out there running around the racetrack with just 2 right side tires. But Darrell Wallace, Brad, he's doing good also.
He's been solid all night long. He's been off just a little bit earlier, but steadily moving forward, running 14th right now, having a good run.
The 51 car, that is a Dillon, but it's tight Dillon.
Yeah, and the young Dillon says he beats his brother in a go-kart all the time, doing a great job for his first race in a nationwide car here tonight.
There are a number of drivers in this race who are making either their first or second appearance. Welcome back to Richmond. 142 laps to go. Kevin Harvick is out front. That other Dillon, Austin Dillon, who's 4th in the championship, by the way. He is second, followed by the championship leader, Elliott Sadler. But as we said earlier, eyes on the youth movement. Guys who are really in Dave Blaney's age group. He's 18, young kids.
Oh, young, but this is a great opportunity for these guys, Nicole. I talked earlier in the show about this being a short track, and everybody's cut their teeth in a short track. Hey, we've got a yellow on the track right now. Joanna Long.
Caution on the track for Johanna Long and another driver we were looking at.
Just getting ready to talk about Joanna Long. She's done an outstanding job tonight. Had that car up front running really strong. Looks like she's got some front-end suspension problems. Maybe the right front tire went down.
Brad, we're just talking in here about how the rotors are getting really hot, and it's about time for somebody to blow a right front tire. I've been looking at a lot of brake rotors, a lot of rear heat,
red, aren't they?
A lot of front heat, a lot of problems, and when you get them that hot, you get a big blowout generally.
Really?
Marty?
All right, thank you very much. As Joanna Long, she was running 15th at the time, and let's go back and take another look.
Oh, yeah, you can see the tire go down just as she was exiting turn 4 there. Might have some damage to the right front.
Yeah, it's more than likely the same thing we saw the first caution. Just overheated that bead on that right front tire with the brakes. She's making her way back to the front. She was 15th before that happened.
And we'd watched her some of the laps be faster than what Kevin Harvick was leading the race, so she was still doing a tremendous job.
She slides it into pit road. Her bad news is good news for Ryan Truex. He'll get the free pass as the crew goes to work.
That happened right at the best possible place on the track. It could have happened. It's coming off the corner. So she doesn't have a tremendous amount of damage.
Okay, everybody last pitted on lap number 40. Here we are completing lap 111. And yes, everybody's coming because you need 4 of those fresh Goodyears, led by our race leader, Kevin Harvick. Let's send it to Vince Welch first.
I'm going to give you the 3 of Austin Dillon and the 2 of Elliott Sadler. First, Sadler, 2 free initial on the throttle and off the turns. Once more of what they gave him last time. That's 4 tires and air pressure. And then the 3 of Austin Dillon, still too tight in the center. Air pressure, track bar adjustment, and 4 fresh Goodyears. Dave?
Kyle Busch gives up 4th for Sunoco fuel, 4 fresh tires. They're going to remove tape from the brake ducts, make a wedge and air pressure adjustment. They're going to try to lower the center of gravity on the left side. Shannon.
Kevin Harvick still too loose. It was a chassis adjustment and air pressure.
Like to look off the race off pit road, and everybody pretty much comes out the way they came in, and Sam Hornish Jr. picks up 2 spots at the expense of Kurt Busch and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So let's take a break, and we'll show you what happens with Mark Hollywood Armstrong as he goes over the wall on the 54. Radio.
I feel like part of it was you and Kevin were running so hard compared to everybody else the first 25 laps of that run. Oh, is that what it was? He kept driving away from us, so that wasn't it. He got his to keep going. We got to get ours to keep going too. I understand that, bud. Just hang in there with me, okay, bud? Hey, I am. I'm just telling you. I mean, you act like it's okay. I mean, he was just driving away from us. I don't want to just settle, you know? No, but if yours wasn't perfect, I just don't want you burning it up like that. Not much I can do, man. I got to keep up.
Let's take a look at the championship standings right now because all 4 are running in the top 6. You can see right there, Stenhouse would be 13 behind and pretty much holding station because the same thing that we were talking about in our pre-race is that all 4 of these cars are running strong races week in, week out. Here we go, back to green flag racing. On the inside, it's Kevin Harvick with Austin Dillon right alongside.
Well, Harvick got a great start right there.
And Elliott Sadler's following. '54 also of Kurt Busch getting underneath the 3.
You can see Denny Hamlin in that mix. He's making up a couple of spots there. Boy, a lot going on right here.
Yeah, Ryan Blaney got so close to the wall in the 22. On board with Danica. Oh, Denny Hamlin gets a little loose, and it could cost him not 1, but maybe 2 positions.
Yeah, he had such a good restart, being able to restart on that inside and go up there and was battling for the 4th spot. Able to keep the momentum and stay in front of Sam Hornish there in that 5th spot.
5 laps from midway in this race. Denny Hamlin, after the first caution, restarted in 21st. This time he restarts in 7th. He's up to 5th.
See Stenhouse there in the 7th spot. Back to what Mike Kelly, his crew chief, was trying to talk to him a little bit about. I mean, he and Harvick did set a torrid pace, and he was trying to stay in front of Kevin Harvick. And Mike Kelly was just trying to tell him, look, yeah, maybe you're using up a little too much car and trying to make that happen. You know, Harvick's car might be able to do that right now. We might need to work a little bit, but that could have been part of the issue as to falling back there right at that point in time.
Oh, yeah, I think
when you hear that as a crew chief, Andy.
Yeah, Mike Kelly's giving him great information. He's telling him what he's seeing from his spot, and Ricky can take it and use it for whatever he wants to. But I think he'd be pretty smart to listen to this guy. He's led this team to a championship, and I think he's a great leader.
Yeah, I agree 100% with you right there.
Well, the great night that Johanna Long ended with that second caution, and Dave has caught up with her.
Yeah, crew working on the car right now. Not sure if you're going to get back out or not. Can you sum up the early part of your night and then tell us what happened?
Well, we had a really good car. I was really pleased how everything was working. ML Motorsports with his King Park Chevrolet. It was on a rail at the beginning of the race. You know, we were passing cars, felt like we were really good. We were just a little too free, and I felt like I burned my stuff up a little too much, and I blew it right front. And I really hate it for all these guys, and we had a really good run going. It just really heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking when you run that well, isn't it, guys?
Yeah. I hate that for her because her car really was good. I watched a lot of the lap times when she was back in traffic. Her lap times were solid. Yeah, the pit crew gave up a few spots, and it puts you back there, and you have to use up so much car trying to get back to the front.
Yeah, that's the key. I think that's exactly what you were talking about, Andy, as she was trying to make her way back forward with the fast car, probably using a little bit more brake than what she was really anticipating and think that maybe she was doing, and unfortunately it created the tire failure.
Well, there you see 3 of the 4 championship contenders, Austin Dillon, Sam Hornish, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. running nose to tail. And if you're wondering where Elliott Sadler is, he's ahead of these guys. He's running 2nd.
You see back there, Denny Hamlin is past Austin Dillon for that 4th spot and has his sights set on Kurt Busch right now.
Stenhouse taking a look underneath.
That sounded kind of weird. I don't know exactly what that was.
Here he comes again. This time he gets a better run. And he clears him. Same thing.
Yeah, you hear it on D-cell. I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah, I think some of it is Sam. It sounds like he backs out and getting down into the corner a little bit. And before he gets to the center, he's using the throttle, I think, to help turn this race car just a little bit.
sounds weird. I don't know.
He's dropped back about 3 car lengths now from Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Dropped back a little farther in the field. Check in on the battle for those cars that are trying to get in the lucky dog spot. Cole Witt has it. Cole Witt has it in the 88. Brad Sweet, Danica Patrick, Joe Nemechek. That is all for the lucky dog position.
And Ryan Truex understands what they're doing because he just got the free pass the last time, but he's trying to work his way back past these cars. 3 wide.
Says, excuse me, playing through.
And he will clear. So Truex not part of this mix. He is the last car on the lead lap. He's 12 seconds behind the Rays lead. But right now, that group of cars, the rest of them are chasing Cole Witt. Check in a little farther forward. You got Michael Annett right there in the 43, and Ty Dillon in the battle for 11th. And we're hearing that Ty may have gotten into the wall. Let's go back and check.
Yeah, hits restarted up inside the top 10. There's Michael Annett. Oh, yeah, now I see why he got into the wall.
Here's from the onboard.
Still down there, 43. I know the 60's blocking you there. Still inside 40.
So now the 51 has retaken the position, cleared the 43 at least for now, and that is Travis Pastrana doing a nice job tonight in the 60 right in front of both of them.
Travis Pastrana doing a really, really good job. We saw him turn some fast laps right before that last caution came out. One of the faster cars on the racetrack.
And another young man who is doing very well right in front of Travis is that driver, the number 20, Darrell Wallace Jr. He is running in 9th. There he is. They're all chasing Kevin Harvick, Elliott Sadler, and Kurt Busch. That's your top 3 after 135 laps. Tomorrow on ESPN, Texas.
That's right, Marty. Kevin Harvick started this race 3rd tonight. It's been 30 races since his last win. Caution on the track, Marty.
Danica Patrick is into the wall. Danica was running in the 19th position.
Right there. Roll the line if you can.
I can't tell you if she got any help or if we have another tire situation or if she just slid up.
I got into him.
Ooh. That doesn't look good. You heard her said she got too close and got into him, so let's see what happens.
Not quite clear.
There's no place for Brad to go. As he scrapes the wall as well, but it looks like he was able to go on.
Still there. Still at your quarter. Still at your quarter. Just stay up top here. Just stay up top.
Well, she's made it behind the wall, and after the great run at Bristol and Iowa tonight, a step backwards.
Yeah, and she was getting the information that the car was there, but with this front straightaway kind of the D shape, you could see she looked in her mirror and she was probably continuing to drive straight, and that was just giving Brad Sweet less room as they went down the straightaway instead of her keeping the car turning to the left just a little bit. So a mistake on her part. You're going to do that.
And unfortunately for Danica, it's the 12th time this year that a caution involving the 7, obviously not always her fault, but this one, she's, as she said, she just came up when she shouldn't have. This is our 3rd caution of the night. You know, 2 of our last 3 races here had 3 cautions for the entire evening, and that's the record for the fewest ever. So we'll see if that streak holds up. Let's check in with Vince Welch.
Here comes Elliott Sadler. He'll be followed by The 18 of Denny Hamlin, Sadler up top, says it's still a little too free, needs some side bite, 4 tires and a chassis adjustment. As far as Denny Hamlin is concerned, tight in the center, still too loose off. They're going to put scuffs on this time to save the stickers for later. Dave?
Third place, Kyle Busch has picked up 2 spots since the restart, and his car is a little bit tight in the middle. Wedge and air pressure adjustment. Shannon.
Kevin Harvick says the car is still loose, but it is getting better. They made a track bar adjustment, 4 tires. They are 4 laps to the good if this race stays green.
Race off pit road, and you saw where Denny Hamlin, boy, after being 21st after the first caution, here he comes out second. Austin Dillon, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., they each pick up 2. Kurt Busch drops 2. Elliott Sadler drops 4. And there's Danica Patrick still in the cockpit as they continue to assess the damage, as we'll take you one more time into the wall on a rough night for the 7 cars. Stay with us. Harvick has Denny Hamlin on the high side, and we're green. Kurt Busch taking a look down low. And he's going to force the issue a little bit farther into 3. Harvick gets another good restart. You're on board with Stenhouse. Kurt still side by side with Austin Dillon. That's Stenhouse right behind him. Meanwhile, Kevin Harvick has checked out again.
Well, it's just a fast race car Kevin Harvick has once again tonight, just like he had at Atlanta last week. He could check out on the restarts until the last one.
Kurt Busch finally does clear Austin Dillon, so move him up into that spot. Here comes Stenhouse taking a look underneath the 3. And Elliott Sadler trying to pick up the spots that he lost on pit road. Stenhouse clears Austin Dillon. Here comes the 2.
Yeah, you get hung on that outside like Austin Dillon has here, and you're waiting for an opportunity just to get back down to the inside. It's just not a second groove in this racetrack right now that you can be very competitive for very long.
So Austin Dillon now drops back to the 6th position. Meanwhile, there's Denny Hamlin with Kurt Busch, and Kurt Busch has gotten around Denny for the 2nd spot. And here comes Stenhouse.
Denny Hamlin still hasn't gotten this race car where he wants it tonight. Stenhouse looks like he's gotten his better, and certainly Kurt Busch. We'd heard him talking about the brakes earlier on, but not holding him back too much right now.
So, oh, and the 12th car, Sam Hornish.
For left rear tire, guys. Be ready for left side.
Oh, and he gets hit a 2nd time.
Nosed it into the fence and come back down the hill. Got hit in the right rear.
Oh, man.
Oh, that is Timmy Hill.
Yeah, it destroyed his car. He just barely caught Sam. Couldn't miss him.
I believe the 12 may have cut a left rear tire down, whether that was in racing action with someone got against it.
Sam was running 10th at the time, and we talked about how he and Austin Dillon being 3rd.
Father, next time he does the block like that, I'm just going to wreck him, so then I save myself.
All right, let's go back and show you exactly what happened.
Yeah, you see Ty Dillon got into the wall. That's not hard to do here. Really, that front straightaway is still a turn.
And I believe it was the 22 that got up against Sam Hornish maybe and cut the left rear as Sam was trying to dodge all of that.
Oh, and there is Timmy Hill coming through.
You see that left rear is down as he enters the corner.
And we mentioned just a moment ago, as you take another look at it, this is going to be pretty wicked.
You can see Timmy trying to get to the bottom, just not able to get all the way clear.
You know, Austin Dillon, Sam Hornish were looking for first and second to have some kind of misfortune so that they could get back into the championship. This is going to really put a big dent in Hornish's championship hopes.
No pun intended.
No.
One outside. Outside. Clear. Inside. Clear high. Hold your line, man. Outside. Left rear tire.
Need to pit for left rear tire, guys. Be ready for left side.
Well, the red flag is out because you saw the huge mess that they're going to have to clean up. For Sam Hornish, he entered with 12 straight top 10 finishes. That will not continue to 13 tonight. Sam has made it back to pit road. And as we go to break, we'll show you one more look at Sam Hornish's night going south. See that they're waiting for the red flag to be lifted before they can work on the car to try and get him back in. And we'll watch this one more time and watch the 31 because Sam was upset on the radio about this move.
Yeah, Sam has a good run off of turn 2, goes down the back straightaway. He's going to try to get that inside lane, but you can see he gets blocked there. And that's what really starts
outside.
all of this. Is
One outside. Outside. Clear.
It was right there that as the 22 tried to dodge this, with his tailpipe, the exhaust pipe coming out the right side, got into the left rear tire.
Need to pit for left rear tire, guys. Be ready for left side.
So we're going to do something a little bit different. Instead of just doing our normal up to speed with Nationwide Insurance, let's do it with the crew chiefs. And Shannon, let's talk to Kevin Harvick.
That's right, Ernie Cope calling the shots up here for Kevin Harvick. I know your car's fast, but you guys have been tuning on it a little bit loose. What is he saying after the most recent adjustments?
He said it's too early to tell in this last run. We've been tightening up. We've been fighting forward, bite off. He gets through the center really well. Just need more forward, bite off.
Thanks, Ernie.
You're welcome.
Dave?
Shannon, with Mike Beam now. Mike, obviously you guys are going to go to work hard in the brake department when you get home, but it still looks like the car is fast. You think he can win?
You know, we're in a tough spot here because I think we can win if we make a long run, but with that brake the way it is the right front, I mean, it's just generating so much heat in the right front. You know, I'm just real worried to death right now. You know, it's going to kill that right front tire. When it goes to the brake, you know, it makes the car just really tight. So he's got to really be careful. We've been freeing it up here just to help that, but you know, we're going to mess around and hurt her drive off. I think we can win if the cautions go our way. You know, it'll help where we can keep tires on it, but you know, the way it looks right now, you know, I'm gonna have to short pit here. You know, about 60, 70 laps. You know, it's about. I'd start worrying about it. You know, so just it's a terrible situation right now. I mean, Kurt's doing a great job. You know, just this brake deal just really hurts.
Vince Welch with Matt Lucas, the crew chief for Denny Hamlin, a two-time winner here at Nashville. You guys have been working on the car all night long. That last pit stop, you went with scuffs over stickers. Why?
Well, I think there's going to be another stop tonight, and there's 100 laps to go basically when we stopped. I think we're going to want the stickers at the end. You know, we used the scuffs for a mock run in practice today. Unfortunately, we're limited on our tire set, so it's what I've got to use. We used stickers, getting the car a little bit better earlier tonight, and scuffs is what I had left, so that's where we're at.
We'll see how it pays off. Matt Lucas. Marty?
All right, thank you. As you can see, everybody back out under the yellow flag now, and it was only just a little bit over 10 laps ago when everybody pitted, so we'll find out. Don't think there are going to be any takers, right, crew chief?
No, not now.
So pit road was open. Nobody really came, so we'll step aside quickly and get caught up on a few things and get ready to go back to green flag racing here at Richmond.
This evening and doing quite well.
He's doing really well. Right now he's running 15th after getting ready to go back to this red flag, but he has been strong throughout the day. This new car is definitely better.
Yeah, Danica Patrick started out pretty well, moved her way up through the field, saw her racing with Darrell Wallace and some of those guys, but boy, lap 143, she gets turned into the wall. Another crash for Danica, another bad evening in the Nationwide Series.
Not a good night either for Sam Hornish Jr.
No, it looked like Sam was going to be able to have a good run and gain some points right there. Got a cut left rear tire due to some contact with another car, and then just gets blasted and lost several laps.
Under lights in Richmond, and drivers are getting a little bit feisty, Marty.
Yes, they are. And Sam Hornish right now listed in 29th position. As we go back to green flag racing, Kevin Harvick. And alongside on the high side, Kurt Busch.
Didn't stick too good for Kurt Busch up there on that high side either. Ricky Stenhouse going to try to take that second spot now.
Elliott Sadler and Denny Hamlin right behind that first group.
Kurt Busch got a big run off of the turn 4 that time to get up here to Harvick.
And can he get enough momentum to carry? No. But he has cleared for second. Stenhouse takes a look underneath the quarter panel of the 54, gets a little loose. Ricky trying to clear, and does. So moves Stenhouse back to second. Boy, did you see the sparks on the 54 on the left side? And here comes Elliott Sadler taking a look on Kurt. So maybe that brake issue is rearing its ugly head already that Mike Beam was talking about.
Yeah, you can just tell the tone of Mike's voice that is causing a lot of problems that they just don't know if they can overcome tonight.
Yeah, when you get in that situation too, you're up there trying to race for the lead. You're driving a little bit harder, probably a little bit harder on the brake in that entry to the corner, and that only magnifies your problem. See, Sadler still trying to take that third spot.
I can tell you that Austin Dillon has gotten past Denny Hamlin. You can see the 3 car right behind this pair. This battle continues. Let's get an update on that brake situation, Dave Burns.
Well, Marty, one other conversation that Kurt had with his crew chief before we spoke with him was the way Kurt could sort of minimize the problem, and that was to let off early going into the corners. But DJ, as a driver, you're not really as aggressive as you want to be. You're rolling, so that's some speed maybe, but he said I had to let off a lot quicker in order not to have that be a problem.
Yeah, you want to leave that as a last option. You want to try to figure out something besides that, but you know, if you do that, just back your corner up a little bit. You have to figure out exactly how much that's going to take. But it could cost you time, and we see Kurt falling back right now.
Notice at the front of the field, this is looking awfully familiar to last weekend at Atlanta. Here's Harvick out in front of Ricky Stenhouse with 81 laps to go. Harvick has led the most laps so far tonight, 99. And Stenhouse has led 56. Let's check in with Shannon Spake.
Well, Marty, we've well documented the struggles for the 6 car. The car was wide loose in the corner, out of the corner. They've really gone to work on it. Track bar adjustments, wedge. And under that last caution, Ricky came over the radio, told Mike Kelly, entry feels more solid, and you can see he's taken off.
And right behind the first 2 is Elliott Sadler. So those 3 have sort of checked out on 4th place.
Yeah, I was watching that 2 car all night long. I just like the way it looks. I know he's had a couple stops, pit stops that weren't quite up to par. He's had to make up some spots on the racetrack, but I like the way his car looks.
He's been able to make some nice passes, especially coming back from that last pit stop to where he fell back to like 7th.
Well, while this continues, Dr. Jerry Punch has caught up with Danica Patrick.
Well, actually, she's now climbed back in the car, Marty. They've done a major job repairing the car. At right front suspension, A-frames, wheel assembly. And as Danica gets ready to leave, I'm going to ask Tony Uri Jr. Tony, how bad was the car, and did Danica say what happened?
It just knocked the whole right front suspension corner off. It broke the top A-frame and the lower mount, so we got it all fixed up. She'll be good to go just to ride some laps out here. But she just said she didn't give the 38 enough room. It was totally her fault. They were racing hard there, been racing quite a bit, so it was just a mistake on her part. That's racing. That's the way it goes.
All right, we'll let her get back out the pit road as Danica heads back onto the racetrack, guys.
And she will be shown 30 laps down at this point and 31st position. Meanwhile, the battle continues out on the track. with the 33 of Kevin Harvick by that much over Ricky Stenhouse, and Elliott Sadler right behind in third.
We've seen Harvick be able to, on these restarts, really pull away and get a pretty good lead, but then it stabilized. And I think after we had that red flag, we ran a few laps, 8 or 10 laps, had that caution, and then had a restart. I don't think Harvick's car is as good as it was as when we get these restarts on fresh tires.
Yeah, Ricky Stenhouse can get up there to him, but as the closer he gets to Harvick, and I think it's maybe a combination of two things. A little bit of aero because you run fast enough on this racetrack to make a difference so you can lose the nose. Or as Stenhouse gets there and tries to make that pass, you try a little bit harder and you slide the front end.
Allgaier and Blaney in the 31 and 22 respectively. They're battling for the 8th spot.
Right there you got Annette and Darrell Wallace racing for that. It's like 11th spot.
Yeah, it's 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th all in your screen. Oh, it gives him a little nudge.
Now look at this. Gets a run on the 22 also.
And Wallace may be able to get around Blaney. Annette has certainly gotten around. And there goes the 31 riding up the track, and he's going to drop 4 spots.
Yeah, he's got some kind of problem there because it surprised Ryan Blaney coming off of turn 4 that last time when Allgaier slowed as much as he did. I don't know if he thinks he's got a tire going down or if it's an engine issue.
You see the little nudge that Blaney gave Darrell Wallace. Maybe a little rivalry starting already between these two. Wallace,
I like the way Wallace drives. He's aggressive, man. He's not afraid to take it to you.
Well, I loved it when he was on our qualifying show and he said, hey, during practice, I stayed in front of Denny Hamlin for like multiple laps. And I said, you could just tell he was real proud of the fact that Hamlin could not get around him.
Yeah, I talked to him a little bit right before that qualifying session. He said that this car drives a lot different than the K&N East cars that he's used to driving here. He's won here in that series. And he talked about how much different this car drove.
You can see right now he's opened up a little bit of ground. He's in the 9th spot. They're all chasing Kevin Harvick. And Harvick's last win, he's finished second 5 times and led over 1,000 laps. A major development as the caution comes out, and you can see the damage on the points leader, Elliott Sadler. Crew chief Luke Lambert.
Should we tape the deck lid down? Tape the deck lid down.
Let's go back and show you what happened.
I do have oil pressure. I don't know about fender rub on the front.
Yeah, they'd been battling, and you can see probably the toughest spot to try to go on the inside of somebody's down into turn 3. The car just gets loose. Sadler up into the wall. He tried to make a run on him before this, and Stenhouse had been able to hold him off. See how hard he's on the brakes glowing.
Let's send it to Vince.
The 3 car of Austin Dillon is in, upper left of your screen. 3/10 air pressure adjustment in the right rear. 1 round down on the track bar. 4 tires, Dave.
Kurt Busch's car will not turn. They're going to fill it full of fuel, give him 4 tires, make an air pressure adjustment. Shannon.
Right side of your screen, Kevin Harvick on top, Ricky Stenhouse on bottom. Both are loose, and they're making chassis adjustments. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. have a little bit of a slow pit stop, guys.
And the race off pit road. Kevin Harvick holds station. Stenhouse at likewise. Austin Dillon picks up 1 at the expense of Kurt Busch. You see Ty Dillon and Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, Ty Dillon's been on a steady march all day.
Now Elliott Sadler's coming back out onto the racetrack. He is still on the lead lap. And we'll go on board as we head to break. How did our camera survive that? Well, Elliott has survived. Can he stay on the lead lap? We'll find out when we come back.
Ignitions in the latest.
Just a few laps to go. And boy, the complexion of the championship has changed. The 2 is back on pit road, trying to keep from going a lap down, but it's not going to happen.
We gotta go.
Here they come. It's James Busher shown as your race leader because he stayed out, but this is going to be quickly dispatched because here comes Harvick and Ricky Stenhouse. He's trying to hold on, but it's a matter of time.
Got 3 wide down into 3.
And Harvick's on the high side. Stenhouse is going to take over the lead, and we're still 3 wide. We can tell you Elliott Sadler got back out, but he is 1 lap down now. Or 2, and for a moment there it was 3 wide involving the 51 of Ty Dillon.
See Travis Pastrana there locking up the brakes down into 3. Got a little bit of nudge. I believe that was from Brian Scott.
Denny Hamlin going underneath the 30 of James Busher. Trouble up in turn 4. The 11 of Brian Scott is into the wall. So the caution comes out again.
Pit 4, bring it to me right here.
He was running 14th.
All the tires still up?
Let's go back and show you what happened. Oh, he got help.
That was Ryan Truex in the 99. Getting that time of the race, though, where a lot of taking, not much given here.
While this caution continues, let's check in with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Sam Horney's still behind the wall. He was the victim of a chain reaction. Sam, take us through what happened to you.
Got to run on the 31. He decided to go down and block me. We got down in the middle of the corner. The 51 tried to roll the outside, and 31 got him up into the wall, and he had to let out of it. I tried to go down and get around him, and 22 hit us, knocked our tire down, and just a big chain of reactions. You know, it's one of those deals. I tried to get slowed down because I knew we had a flat left rear, but it's like tippy-toeing between braking and trying to get it down in there and not get run over, and just couldn't hang on to it. And then we got hit and a whole bunch of damage, and just hate it for these guys that work on the Lions Truck Parts Dodge.
All right, they're trying to get Sam back out. They got a problem with the frame rails, trying to get them jacked away and get him back on the racetrack. Got a tough night for the 3rd place points man.
It's been a tough week. He got the news earlier this week he will not be in the 22 Sprint Cup car next year. And he came into this race 3rd in the points. Right now he's shown 53 behind. And look at Elliott Sadler with his issues. He's now 2nd, 18 behind Stenhouse.
But who needs brakes when a front bumper will do just fine? This is Richmond. Under the lights.
That's just some of the action we've had tonight. Guess what's going to happen tomorrow? That's right, Sprint Cup here at Richmond, 7 Eastern on ABC. Mac Tools, U.S. Nationals, 3 o'clock Eastern. That's Sunday on ESPN2. And our next NASCAR Nationwide Series event comes next week at Chicago, 3 o'clock Eastern on Saturday on ESPN. Back here at the Virginia 529 College Savings 250. Here are the cautions. We only had 2 the first 143 laps, and in the last 57, it's come out 4 times, including a 4-minute red flag. Let's reset it for you as Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is your race leader. Somehow, Kurt Busch is hanging on despite his brake issues. He's going to be on the high side. Then it's Kevin Harvick, who's led the most laps tonight, 117. And Michael Annett in the 43 has snuck into the top 5, and here we go. Kurt is trying to make that outside work, and so far it has.
Oh, man, he drove that car into turn 3, and it's stuck.
So Kurt Busch is now your race leader. Here comes Harvick looking underneath the 6 of Ricky Stenhouse.
Yeah, Stenhouse in a tough position here. He's up here knowing he could have a huge points night with Elliott Sadler's problem, but he's got 2 tough competitors there that he's trying to race with because they really don't care about this. You know, they're out for the win, and if they have to rub somebody, they will.
Like that. So Harvick right up in the door of Stenhouse.
And sneaking up behind is Denny Hamlin. So he's got a whole bunch of Cup regulars surrounding him in that 6 car of his.
Stenhouse did a nice job there. They were holding off Kevin Harvick and staying in the 2nd spot.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 2nd spot. Let's go back to Montreal. Remember when he sort of forced the issue with Jacques Villeneuve? Is he thinking about that? Is he thinking about points, or is he thinking about, I want to beat all these guys?
I think he just races to win. I know he wants to make points, and he thinks about that at times, but his natural reaction is just to go for it.
I think that his crew chief and his car owner are thinking about, they wish that he'd think about points, but as you said, he's thinking about winning. That's all he cares about. Drives it off in the corner a little bit hard there, trying to hold Harvick off, but he's actually catching Kurt Busch as they race side by side.
Now, did anybody's tire take the wrong end of that contact? So far, everybody's still inflated.
Yeah, that probably didn't do Harvick's car any good either, that right front fender.
Stenhouse really trying to make this 2nd groove come in. He's getting a really big run off the corner right now, and he's closing in on the rear bumper of Kurt Busch.
Goes to the high side again, opens the door for Harvick.
Oh,
he slips there.
Drive it off in the corner.
Yeah, he drove it too hard that time.
But he maintains, and he really didn't lose anything to the leader right there.
Well, I think you hit it, DJ, when you said the drive off, because that's what the team was talking about through practice. That was the one thing they were looking for, and they felt they had it. And so far, it's worked.
He's getting a big run off of turn 2 again. I think he could get even more if he didn't have Kevin Harvick there gnawing on his left rear quarter panel a little bit.
While you're watching these 3 behind Busch, Stenhouse, and Harvick, it's Denny Hamlin in 4th. There's Denny in the 18th. Then Michael Annett still in 5th. Austin Dillon is 6th. And Darrell Wallace has moved to 7th. Ryan Blaney has moved to 8th.
They say all this going on, and they're not. I mean, Kurt Busch is not getting away from him at all.
You can see he's right there, and Harvick and Stenhouse are running hard. A little contact between them. Just getting concerned. As hard as Stenhouse is driving it off into the corner, is he really using up the right front tire of this car right now?
And remember earlier when he and his crew chief were having that conversation?
But he's the man that knows. He's the one sitting in there. He knows how much he's punishing it. And there are only less than 40 laps to go here. He's got a big run off of 2 right now.
Whoa, slides it a little. While all these guys continue to gang up on each other, how long before Denny Hamlin crawls into this mix?
I don't know. I might be concerned about his right rear tire, the way he's sliding it on the corner now.
I'm not sure that Kurt Busch is not going to kind of block Stenhouse and maybe give the opening to Harvick.
You get a little glimpse. That right front fender of Kevin Harvick has touched the 6 a couple of times, and there is a little bent metal. See right there?
Oh, yeah, he's got a little damage on that right front.
Yeah, he's not afraid to bend it up some more either here, I don't think. Then Stenhouse is going to get to the outside. Then Kyle Busch or Kurt Busch is going to have to. Oh, Stenhouse slips a little bit there off of 2 and loses a good bit of time. I thought if they got side by side, then Kurt Busch is going to have to decide who he was going to try to block.
Can Kevin clear him? Yes, he can. So it took multiple laps, but Kevin Harvick is now in the 2nd spot. Stenhouse 3rd, Denny Hamlin 4th.
Well, you got to hand it to Harvick. He worked and worked and worked to get that spot. Now he's got about 36 laps to try to run down this 54 and pass Kurt Busch.
He's going to run him down rather quickly. How long it takes him to get by is the question.
All right, things have calmed down at the front of the field, so let's work our way back a little deeper as those top four are still the same. Check in with the 31 and the 44. That's Justin Allgaier and Mike Bliss. And right behind them, there's Ty Dillon in the 51 with Joe Nemechek.
Hey, Mike Bliss in this 44 has done a solid job all night. He's running right around that top 10 spot the entire time.
That is 11th on back all the way through to the 99 of Ryan Truex.
I don't know what happened to Ty Dillon. He came off pit road in 5th spot. I think he restarted 6th. Lost a lot of spots since his last pit stop.
On board with Ty.
He's got a good car for the long run. I don't think it's very good in the short run.
And Nemechek giving that 87 a good ride tonight as well as he goes the high side around the 31.
Yeah, Joe Nemechek has been solid all night long. He's battled all night. Seems like every time he gets set to get inside that top 10, the caution comes out and he loses a little bit.
See his cycle right there. Right in that 13th position. Trying to reel in Ty Dillon. Let's go back to the battle for 5th, where you've got Michael Annett and Austin Dillon. You saw Brian Scott. Of course, he is multiple laps down after having his issues with the wall.
Hey, I've been watching Elliott Sadler in the 2 car with the damage he's got. He is the first car a lap down. He'd love to see a caution. But he's got enough speed to keep himself here in pretty good shape. If he could get a caution and get the free pass, he could make up a couple more spots and cut this deficit some more to Ricky Stenhouse, minimize the damage.
Well, he's cut it back to a 9-point deficit right now. As you said, if he can get the lucky dog. Really, with the amount of damage he had, this is really amazing that he's even been able to do this much. You can see that big Band-Aid. It looks like a big old Band-Aid on the back. It's holding it down, though. During the commercial break, it wasn't doing a very good job. They had to come back in several times.
They were just trying to stay on the lead lap. They worked and worked, and they finally had to lose 1 lap to get all this work done.
Give you an idea of where he is on the track compared to the race leaders. Here comes Kurt Busch, followed by Kevin Harvick. And as they cross the line, we'll now have 27 laps remaining. And we'll click them off at about 23 seconds a lap. 6 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. If he stays right there, will be the points leader by the end of the night. Denny Hamlin running in 4th in that 18 car. He was as far back as 21st after the first pit stop, actually a low of 23rd.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he wasn't better tonight. He's probably as good as he's been right now, but early in the race he was really not good at all. This is a car that I would expect to be leading the most laps and winning the race.
Let's get more on the 18. How about it, Vince Welch?
Well, what they've really been fighting all day long is just too loose. Throughout the course of the day, Denny has just said, I got to be tightened up. I got to be tightened up. Finally, they put a round of track bar in it on that last pit stop. Remember, he was on scuffed tires that previous run, and that yellow came right in on time so he could come in and get those sticker tires on. And as you guys said upstairs, this is the best he's been all night. He'd like to see a yellow right now.
Battle for 5th is tightening up. The 43 of Michael Annett, the 3 of Austin Dillon.
Annett got the wall just a little bit off 4.
Got a big old donut on the right side of the 43. And they're going to go side by side. Austin gets any closer, we'll have a donut on the left side.
We've got a spin off of 4.
Whoa, look out. The 39 has gone around. That is Dexter Stacy, and the caution is out.
I'm not sure Kevin Harvick didn't get by to the lead.
That's clear right there. Come on.
And we're hearing that it might have been Kurt Busch that got into the 39. He was running 27th, 2 laps down. And you can see Harvick is beyond ahead of the 54, and here we go.
See, Kurt Busch wasn't wanting to give up that inside, afraid if he moved to the high side that Harvick might be able to take that spot. A little bumper to the back of the 39.
And Kurt says, welcome to the Nationwide Series, Dexter Stacy. From Harvick's on board.
Go high, stay in it, stay in it, stay in it. They're low, keep rolling. Caution's out, T1, T1.
And remember, you were talking about the lucky dog situation? Elliott Sadler gets back on the lead lap.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Kurt Busch is trying to contest this, but the NASCAR is now saying the 33 is the leader when the caution came out. It was real close, and I see why Kurt Busch would actually challenge it.
It's hard to see. He was down at the very bottom of this racetrack, and Kevin Harvick was up on the top. You had this front straightaway that's not straight, and so it's kind of hard to see up through your car and exactly where that other car might have been, and not know exactly when the caution flag flew.
Well, we have several cars coming down pit road, including Travis Pastrana, the 01 of Mike Wallace. Shannon, we'll send it your way.
And Travis Pastrana in that 60 car, you see him coming down pit road, qualified great for this race. He says they're really, really tight in and loose off. They're going to go one round in the right rear wedge. They're also going to take 4 tires and Sunoco fuel. You see that wrench in the back window. Guys?
Yeah, Pastrana was running right around the 17th position when he decided to come down pit road. So with only 23 cars on the lead lap, not really losing anything here.
Now, if they can make an adjustment, get some tires on it, he may make up some spots.
So he brings it back out onto the track. And Kevin Harvick, who's led 120 laps, almost double the second highest, as he is back out in front here.
NASCAR Nationwide Series at Richmond is presented by Can-Am. Can-Am ATVs and side-by-side vehicles. Can-Am, the ride says it all.
Under our 7th caution, let's remind you about what's coming up on the calendar of events. Tomorrow, the Sprint Cup Series here at Richmond is all on the line for the wild card berth, 7 o'clock Eastern on ABC. And the Mac Tools U.S. Nationals, that's 3 Eastern Sunday on ESPN2. And then we've got NASCAR Nationwide Series, our coverage from Chicago next Saturday, September 15th on ESPN at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. All right, there is Kevin Harvick. We've talked about the fact he has led the most laps, and you can see where he has led the most laps this season and where the winner has ended up. And it hasn't been Kevin Harvick. Well, we're going to find out. It's Kurt Busch on the outside again. In row 2, it's Stenhouse and Hamlin, Annett and Dillon. That's your top 6. Kurt's got his hands full right now. Stenhouse is underneath him. And the 20 of Darrell Wallace right behind Denny Hamlin.
Tell you what, Darrell Wallace has done a fantastic job here tonight driving this race car. Got himself right up in the mix.
He's a future star in this series. Look at him. He's going to get a run on his teammate, Denny Hamlin.
Here he goes.
Not a run. He's going to blow by him.
Gone.
Takes the spot. He finished 9th at the first Iowa race, 7th the second time around, and here he is cracking the top 5.
I don't care what it is. You pass Denny Hamlin at Richmond, you're doing something.
I don't care what you pass him in.
Here
like Denny's not done yet.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's coming right back on him. Darrell is just 18 years old from Mobile, Alabama, and Hamlin says, son, I can't let you go by that easy.
It's amazing the talent he has at that young of an age, at 18 years old, out here racing these guys like this.
Annett gets into him. He manages to hold on. Can he hold on to the position? Oh, this is getting pretty dicey. Austin Dillon in that 3 car is trying to give both of them some space in case they decide to start turning it around.
Michael Annette doing a nice job of staying off of Darrell Wallace there and making the pass. Almost.
Almost. Now it looks like he may have him, and he does. Oh, and now Austin gets into Darrell, and he may have carried him off. Check the right side. Yeah, it looks like he got in the corner of the panel, but not too bad.
Austin Dillon had him loosened up all the way off of turn 2.
And here comes Ryan Blaney. Now, we've seen these two earlier in the evening have a little contact. And Ty Dillon in the mix. Got a group of youngsters all together. And, of course, then there's the veteran Joe Nemechek behind all three of them. Well, look at Blaney sawing that wheel.
Yeah, you really have to be careful. We saw a veteran like Elliott Sadler in this very situation racing for second spot with Ricky Stenhouse and crash his car. So you have to be extremely careful, but it's getting down inside 10 laps to go.
And
Can't give much.
This is all for position between all four of these cars. These first three cars, the future of the Nationwide Series. A lot of young, good talent coming up. Look at these two leaning on each other. Oh, Blaney's into him. Can he save it? Darrell Wallace hangs on to it. He's going to lose a couple of spots.
We're going to need to get the tires cleaned back off before he gets down into turn 3 here.
James Busher got around him as well, so move Wallace back to the 11th spot.
It wasn't long ago that he was up there in 5th place.
Well, he gets back around Busher. Let's check in farther forward. Kurt Busch in front of Denny Hamlin. This is the battle for third. Next time by, it'll be 7 laps to go. If you're wondering about Kevin Harvick, his lead is 1.5 seconds. I'm trying to show you the best action on the track, and this is it right now. And now Kurt has managed to pull out a little bit of ground. Here comes Elliott Sadler. Let's update you on his situation. He has crawled his way back to 14th with that torn up race car, and the points differential is 1 right now.
Yeah, if he passes this 31, he'll have the point lead back or be tied for it.
Yeah, that last caution was huge for Elliott Sadler's opportunity to salvage a good night and possibly a championship before this year's over.
This is absolutely amazing that that car and this driver and this team has been able to come back from what they went through.
Yeah, they came in and put on 2 right side tires during that last caution when he got the free pass. Those tires had 30-some laps on them from practice.
Oh, and they go 3 wide. And Cole Witt is in this mix as well, and that too is for position.
Boy, be careful. Don't want to give it all back right here, but I tell you, Justin Allgaier doesn't mind getting pretty aggressive.
And watch behind there, because the 99 of Ryan Truex is also for position. So Sadler finally clears Cole Witt.
Could be a lot of contact if he can get to that 31's back bumper right here.
So Sadler's now in 13th. And we'll see what happens if he can get up onto the 31. Meanwhile, Kevin Harvick has opened up a 2-second lead. 30 races since his last win. It was back here at Richmond in 2010. You can see he's had 14 top 5s. Has led over 1,000 laps in this stretch. And it looks like, unless some drastic caution comes out, no water bottles tonight.
White flag here. You don't have to run any harder. He won't catch you.
There you go. White flag, and you heard it. Don't have to run hard. Kevin Harvick at a track he is tied with the most wins with Mark Martin with 5 apiece. He's about to break that mark with 2 more corners. Coming out of 4, Kevin Harvick's going to do it.
Finally, great job, guys. Every week we put it all together. Good job.
A great run for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. That's good enough to keep him in the championship hunt. behind him, Kurt Busch, Denny Hamlin, and Michael Annett. And guess what, guys? See where Elliott Sadler finished in 12th?
Yep.
That means, guess what? He leads the points by 1. What a comeback for Sadler.
Turn it down, Kevin. Go.
Harvick's 38th career win. It ties him with Carl Edwards for 3rd all-time. There's Ernie Cope, who's got a big sigh of relief and getting the congratulations from the rest of the crew.
Oh, he just threw a water bottle out.
You think that was a little message?
Get a water bottle toss in the burnout.
Well, let's hear from a very happy crew chief. How about it, Doc?
Ernie Cope walking up pit road, and Ernie, we heard Kevin Harvick say the words "finally." What was the key to this getting him back to victory lane tonight?
I don't know. We've had good cars all year, and we just ain't been able to win one of these. And it was fun where they just raced at the end, no one getting tires at the end. We didn't get too tired at the end on nobody. We just got to go out there and race all night.
I heard him say a moment ago, I don't like to hug, but I may hug Ernie Cope. So go up there. I think you got a hug coming your way.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. Thank you.
5 times he's led the most laps this year and hadn't got to victory lane until tonight, guys.
Elliott Sadler, as you finish up, Doc, what a comeback here. At one point, when he hit the wall and they came in, he was 19 points behind Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and now he's going to come out of here with a 1-point lead. Austin Dillon closes a little ground. He's now 3rd with 30 markers back. And Sam Hornish is in some serious trouble right now. He is 50 back with 8 races remaining. Dave Burns?
Well, it was a courageous run for Elliott Sadler. Elliott, you come home 12th, and you are still the championship leader by 1 point. Describe your night.
It's frustrating. I made a big mistake. I got in there a little bit too loose under Ricky. Man, we had a fast race car. This One Main Financial car, 100-year anniversary. Guys did a good job. This has been a really good car for us this year, and we went in a good position to win the race. I just got a little bit too patient, got in a little hard over my head, and we're still not out of it, though. We got 8 more races left. We're still in the points lead, and we'll go get them at Chicago.
He is ahead. Vince Welch?
With Ricky Stenhouse Jr., I'll tell you what, we've got dents and marks and everything else all over this race car. 2nd place finish tonight. You narrowed the gap on Elliott to just 1 in the championship hunt. What kind of night did you have? Was it fun?
It was fun racing. We got the outside working every time somebody got to the inside of us. Kevin and I had a great battle there for a while. I gave it all I had. A Ford EcoBoost Mustang was probably a 2nd place car tonight again, but congratulations to them. It was a lot of fun, but man, we wanted to win that one. I've never won 2 in a row. That would have been cool, but 2nd's a great night. I think Nationwide Insurance, Ford EcoBoost, Cargill, Noss, Valvoline, everybody that helps us out on this still. It's a lot of fun to drive.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 2nd tonight. Doc?
And what a night for 18-year-old Darrell Wallace Jr. Darrell, you were 4th with a dozen laps to go and finished 10th. What happened?
That's what's so heartbreaking. We know we were 4th, and it's terrible when you set a goal for 7th and you know you have the car to beat it, and you come home 10th. I'm beating myself up about it. It's I don't know, man. It was a great day for sure. I'm just frustrated with myself. The guys worked their tail off on this Dollar General Camry, and they got us there. They definitely got us there. Every race, we've been strong and just lacking on my end. You know, I learned some stuff behind Denny. I got by him, so that's the plus side of it. I got by Denny Hamlin here at Richmond, his home track, so that's cool. But I can't thank the guys enough at Dollar General, Rick, for coming on board. You have such a late notice, but we always run good with Dollar General in the car, and everybody back at Joe Gibbs Racing, they worked their tails off. But the main thing is God kept me safe tonight, and I told him to do that before the race, and we're here talking with you.
Marty, what a tough 10th place finish.
Well, remind him he's 18 years old, and he has 3 nationwide races, and he's finished in the top 10 in all 3 of them. That's pretty doggone good. Let's take a look at the ticket to the race, because we are heading to Chicago and then to Kentucky, Dover, Charlotte, Kansas, Texas, Phoenix. We wrap it up at Homestead Miami Speedway, November 17th. Let's head to Victory Lane, talk to the winner.
It's been 2 years, 30 races since Kevin Harvick has been to victory lane. And we've seen you lose a lot of these, Kevin, so close so many times. What was going through your mind on those final laps?
Yeah, first off, I just want to thank Armour, Chevrolet, Hunt Brothers, everybody here at RCR for everything that they do on these cars. I think we've led more laps in this series in 10 races this year than anybody else that's run all year. You know, the cars have been there week after week, and it's just we went through a spell there of things that what could go wrong went wrong. But to get our Armour Chevrolet into victory lane and be able to see all these guys finally get the relief of being in victory lane is something that just want to thank everybody for.
And your wife, Delana, is on FaceTime here, live in victory lane. I do want to ask you about some of those battles. Oh, see, there you go. Oh, and there's the baby.
He slipped right through it. Yeah, he's not enthused by anything, but it's looking good there. At least he's sleeping. That means mom's happy.
Well, it was exciting. What was it like for you? How would you describe this race?
No, that was, you know, last week we just absolutely dominated the race and didn't really get to race all day. And, man, that was a lot of fun with Ricky and Kurt there at the end to be able to race as hard as we could go for 60, 70 laps, whatever it was there, and be able to come out on top.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys?
All right, let's take a look at some of the final results because some really talented people performed well tonight as Michael Annett gets his 5th top 5. And there, Austin and Dylan and Ty. Austin wins the battle of the brothers.
Yeah, Joe Nemechek, good top 10 finish.
Yep, Joe, a former winner, and Ryan Blaney and Darrell Wallace as that young brigade that we talk about, the future of the Nationwide Series. A lot of good top 10 runs. Our NASCAR Sprint Cup Series from Richmond, 7 o'clock Eastern tomorrow night right here at Richmond International. It'll be on ABC. Coming up next, we've got Baseball Tonight. It's presented by Lexus. Congratulations to that man right there, Kevin Harvick, breaking a 30-race drought as he wins under the lights here at Richmond International ahead of Ricky Stenhouse and Kurt Busch. For our entire ESPN crew, I'm Marty Reed. Till we meet again.